Normally, I'm of the opinion, buy once, cry once. You get what you pay for. And I'm normally suspicious, well, I've become suspicious of anything inexpensive or less expensive options. Maybe to explain a little bit, I really wanted an HK MP5 because that's the gun John McClane has. I ended up buying one of the clones that was less than half the money of the HK, but it was also less than half the rifle. It had to go back a bunch of different times, and it was just kind of a nightmare. It's like I should have just bought the one I wanted to begin with instead. Then I sold the clone and had to buy the HK, and it was just, I don't know. I've had a couple issues like that where I just kind of learned my lesson. So anyway, when things are normally underpriced or what I consider to be kind of less expensive than what the status quo is for the market, it makes me a little bit skeptical. However, fortunately with Holosun, that really hasn't been the issue. I want to talk about the red dot today. This one is new from them, or relatively new. This one's called an ARO, so I think it's Advanced Rifle Optic. Let's see if I guessed right. Yes, Advanced Rifle Optic. What this is, well, first let's talk about the important part, or maybe the noteworthy part that I think. The base model of this, $160 on Primary Arms, wherever you want to get it from, but just discount sites. The one with the multi-reticle, the version I have here is $200, $199 for the site, including the mount, which I think is crazy cheap for what it is. So, I'll talk through the optic quickly. It kind of has those Aimpoint T2 vibes for the micro red dots. The housing on it is like very small, so it doesn't feel like I'm having a tough time looking through the tube or anything. Since the housing's smaller, the mounting system I like a lot better than the previous, at least the first generation of the AIM sight. It's also a Holosun AEMS, or the initials, but they apparently it's pronounced AIMS. But with that sight, the original generation had just one crossbolt Torx screw holding the optic to the rail. I never actually had one come loose, but I don't know, I felt like it should be something more secure. Which is what this has. The crossbolt with that bigger style nut. I mean, not that you really need to tighten it to 500 foot-pounds and jump up and down on it, but I don't know. This just feels more secure, even though I haven't had either one come loose. The other part that's pretty interesting, I think, is the mounting system. It comes with this base, which is the lower third height. It also comes with an absolute co-witness. Both of the optic mounts are in the box. And if I can get, jackpot, angles, you just loosen, there's 4 little screws, so 2 on each side there. You loosen those screws and the optic separates from the mount. That way you could change it if you want it higher or lower. I'm sure other companies will make aftermarket mounts, but the optic's already $200. I probably would not be buying a $100 mount for it. Just me. What else? So, probably the only complaint I have about Holosun is sometimes their naming convention is a little bit confusing to get nailed down. So I did a little bit of looking on the Google machine and found out the details. There's 3 machines total, or 3 models, I'm sorry. The first one is called the Evo, so ARO Evo, which has solar powered like panel here. This one doesn't have that. I don't have the rich one, which I don't know that matters, honestly, because I leave the red dots on and they never go out. So then there's a base model ARO. There's an MRS, multi-reticle system, which is what this is. And there's also a plain one, just RD, which is just a red dot. So for the $160 one, it's just a plain 2-minute dot, no different options for reticle. For $200, again, this is Primary Arms, but I'm sure other companies will have them for different prices. Or maybe by the time you watch this, we'll have the dollar will have devalued even more and there'll be more money. I mean, who knows? But as of right now, $200 for this one with the multi-reticle system. Briefly, one thing I like about the Holosun over other optics, I've got EOTechs also, and I like EOTechs quite a bit. The one problem is battery life. The second problem is like there's no way to turn off the outside ring, that kind of donut people are thinking familiar with, a 65 or 62 MOA ring outside the dot. So you have a dot and then a circle. I like it and it's fine, but there's times where I just want the dot. The Holosun I like because you can toggle through the reticles. So for the AEMS, it's plain dot, dot with the circle, just the circle, or just the dot. So you can have like any combination you want. I don't know why they do just the circle though, because I have yet to find a use for why I'd ever want that. I'm very much of the mindset you aim small, miss small. Mel Gibson was right about that part anyway, not the other stuff. But so I think it's important that like you pick a small spot, you have a small, very precise reticle. That's where I want bullets to go. So I don't really love the big circle. With this one, they took out the reticle I don't like. For this one with the multi-reticle, it's just a plain dot or the dot in the circle. I think that's perfect. So that's what this one is. So this is ARO MRS. So multi-reticle system, the regular advanced rifle optic. Otherwise, I've had it for a couple weeks. Headed to the range several times, no issues so far. Plan to keep training with it. At first, I was a little bit skeptical, like how small the window is, or the optic itself is smaller than, especially like the AEMS that I'm used to, that is the big square housing. And I just haven't noticed that at all, since head positioning isn't, like the window's still plenty big when you get your head behind it anyway, and where it's fixed to the rifle, the stock is touching your shoulder, so it's not like a pistol where somebody might not find their optic and needs to fish around. So anyway, no downside so far, and for retail $200, I think that's a pretty good buy. So anyway, I'm excited to mess with this one some. People work hard for their money, so I'm not telling everybody like, oh, you need to go buy EOTechs and aim points, which those are great optics, but like okay, how about this? I shoot a pretty fair amount, and I interact with a lot of people. I have yet to see a Holosun break on mine, or even like Benny Boy shoots a lot. No issues so far. I've sent one Holosun back so far, as long as I've been using them a couple years. It was one of the original 507 comps. I think I got it before they were available for purchase. That one was just sent to me, and there was an issue with the coating. I got like reflections, which sometimes it was just like the right angle on the sun. I started to get reflections. So I emailed my contacts guy, and he's like, yep, just send it back. We'll look at it. They sent me a new one, and then it hasn't been an issue since. But like I said, it was pre-production. The optic itself worked fine. It held zero. I was just getting some weird reflections. Kind of like the Trichicon SRO double dot thing. Just a little bit more, but along the same lines. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. For rifle optics, at this point, I strongly prefer Holosuns for red dots. Just because I like that you could toggle the reticles. Battery life's good. They're not super expensive. It's kind of, I don't know, no real downside. To speak briefly to the reticle, or why I like toggling them, the plain dot I use for 95% of the shooting I do. The only time I like the circle is using the bottom hash for what people call CQB distances. So like 10 yards and in, you're going to have a mechanical like offset, because wherever you put your bullet, your sight isn't actually where the bullets are going to go low at close distances. They're going to be a little bit low. So if you toggle on that circle, you can use the little hash or a little tick at the bottom part of that reticle, and that's where your bullet's going to go. So if you're trying to shoot precisely at closer distances, like headshots at 10 yards and in, that gives you kind of a repeatable hold point, as opposed to just holding in air and watching where the bullets appear, or trying to memorize where the bullets will appear. So I like the ability to switch the optic, or switch the reticle, and I don't know, for me, the Holosun stuff has been quite good. So this new option for $200, I think, is a home run. Like I said, people work hard for their money, so I don't think you necessarily have to spend a bunch of money to get the most expensive optics. For $200, I plan on shooting this thing quite a bit, and I think it's a good buy. So anyway, I'll keep you posted if anything breaks or I have any issues, but after a couple weeks, life's good so far. Let me know if you have any thoughts, questions, comments down below. I try my best to read through the comments and reply to them or answer questions. If it's not something easily I can just answer a sentence or two, then I'll just make a follow-up video. So appreciate you watching.